This story comes to us from Boston.com. In a town called Natick. Now, the town of Natick reportedly shrugged off allegations that one of its police officers had groped and assaulted a police dispatcher following an overnight shift in April of 2020, according to a report by WBUR. They shrugged it off. Why? Because it was one of their cops. See, when police officers screw up or do something they shouldn't, you got to understand. The departments go, let's fix this. Let's fix it. Spin. Instead of just facing it up, fessing up. But it always comes to light. The female dispatcher and 4 male cops had gathered in a secluded parking lot for drinks after work. The dispatch later told investigators that Officer James Quilty, should be James Guilty, James Quilty, stuck his hand down her pants, then trapped her in her car, undid her bra, kissed and fondled her, and forced her hand onto his pants over his crotch, according to a report produced in collaboration with the Boston Globe. Now, I know, and then we come back to, well, that's the media, and how can we really trust the media? You know, people are going to say that. Middlesex County prosecutors say that Natick police at first shrugged off the allegations, WBUR reported. Natick officials have fought for more than 2 years, because it was 2020, to keep almost all the records secret, the news outlet said. Boston.com has reached out to the Natick Police Department for comment. Good luck. Quilty was indicted in December of 2021 on 3 counts of indecent assault and battery. He has filed a motion to dismiss the charges, and his next hearing is scheduled for coming up this month. Quilty's attorney, Michael Perpall, declined to comment on the case. Of course, nobody's going to comment. Now, they break down the timeline for you here. I'm going to try to keep it short. But shortly after the alleged assault, the woman told a fellow dispatcher, who told a sergeant, who reported it to then Natick Police Lieutenant Kara Rossi, according to a WBUR timeline. Bossi reportedly took no action until Chief James Hicks learned about the allegations when Quilty was up for promotion 2 months later and ordered her to conduct a full investigation. Rossi, now chief of police in Ashland, allegedly approached the dispatcher in the open office in front of Quilty and asked if she had anything to report. When the dispatcher said she didn't, Rossi dropped the matter. Now again, we don't know how she asked. Either the dispatcher was embarrassed but it says in front of Quilty. So she took the alleged assaulter in front of the alleged victim and said, do you have anything to report to me? Did he do anything to you? He's right there in front of her. Mark Wynn, a retired Nashville Police Department lieutenant who has trained police on responding to domestic and sexual violence in their ranks, says interviewing victims and possible offenders in the same room together, it's something that's just not done. Duh. It used to be back in the 60s and 70s, he says. When you interview a victim of a possible offense like this, you do it, you and them, privately, separated in a room somewhere nobody's around, and go, okay, what happened? Not, did he do this to you? Speaking Monday on WBUR's Radio Boston, Wynn added, if they confronted an alleged abuser in front of the victim, it's like interviewing a bank clerk and a bank robber in the same case and telling the bank robber where the bank clerk lives. It's just not proper. Because remember, she's a dispatcher. He can get her information. In July of 2020, Natick's town administrator at the time hired a law firm to investigate, and the town put Quilty on unpaid leave. Unpaid leave. 2 years ago. Quilty returned from leave in June of 2021 after signing a last chance agreement. That's one of those where, okay, we're going to give you one more chance, dude. You mess up again, no more touching women at work, okay? He signed a last chance agreement in June of 2021, agreeing to serve about 2 months suspension. The town administrator, James Erickson, who took on the role in July of 2021, was previously a deputy town administrator, did not immediately return Boston.com's request for comment. Of course he didn't. This guy was given a last chance agreement for that. Like, what the? Quilty was indicted months later after a Framingham blogger and WBUR requested records on the incident. Ali. What the hell? Guys, it's too early. Ali Jarmanning, one of the article's reporters, said on the Radio Boston, that's what's really unclear is why it took so long to go to criminal charges in the first place, why the town put him back to work before any kind of criminal charges had been filed, and what the town did or didn't do. The big thing with this story is that the town has refused to provide any records about what happened. Yeah. Like, now some of the court documents related to the case are sealed, and the news outlet WBUR said NATUC rejected its request for virtually all its records regarding Quilty's alleged sexual assault. They have filed a public records lawsuit against NATUC in September, and the case is still pending. Because I guess apparently now, under these new laws, they have to give them the records, right? You ask, and Select Board Chair Paul Joseph told WBUR, this is a selectman, that NATUC is hesitant to release documents and comment on the case while the criminal charges are pending. Selectman Paul Joseph, who's the board chair, said, we do as a board have confidence in the process we're undertaking, and we are trying to do it in the spirit of transparency and fairness to the parties that are involved. Yes, we're trying to protect that poor police officer that's accused of sexually assaulting that dispatcher. Ultimately, sexual misconduct among law enforcement has implications for beyond NATUC, Wynn explained on Radio Boston. He says sexual assault and domestic violence by police is an abuse of power and authority and cannot be tolerated by police leaders across the country. It is. Police abuse their power and authority every day. Every day they abuse their authority and their power, and they try to justify it with what we call cop-splaining. That's why George Floyd is dead. That's why Elijah McClain is dead. That's why Andre Hill is dead. And it's most likely why Breonna Taylor is dead. I could go on and on. Wynn added, we've been struggling to try to get women into policing for years, and this is one of the things when you talk to young women about why they don't go into policing. This is it. Yeah. Because they don't want to be abused by these male chauvinist cops. And then have it covered up. And then when it comes to light, because it's always going to come to light. I want you to know that's why, and this is going to sound so vain or not gratifying, but you know what I mean, ego, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't lie, and I don't try to cover things up. Now, I might say something that, none of us are perfect, and I might say something and you go, well, that's not, hold on a minute, that's not what, and you correct me and I go, oh, you know what, you're right. But intentionally and maliciously, I don't lie, I'm transparent, I'm accountable unto myself first, and then secondly unto all of you. Why? Because it always comes to light. But like this story, cops think they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, and nobody's looking. One person's looking all the time.